What's up, party people? Happy Saturday night. Hair toss. I was reading this story from one of my favorite astrologers, Chani, and I wanted to read it to you guys and do a bedtime story kind of thing because I thought it was very cute. So I'm gonna title this the story of Venus going, well, just call it the story of the planet Venus. Check my nails. Okay. It's not a super long story, but it's very interesting. It caught my attention because I feel like retrogrades are always I don't know, they're just a lot emotionally. So we figure once planets go direct, then it'll be easier. But I feel like today was kind of sad. And this is a very good story that really puts shit into perspective. It talks about the history of the planet Venus and Inanna. It's so hard to say her fucking name, but let me find it. And how she traveled to the underworld, because basically when planets go retrograde, it's like they're visiting Hades or the underworld to kind of take a look back at the past and the things that they've left behind and the things that have died. So essentially her sister, which her name is fucking complicated as shit too, her sister Ereshkigal, she's the ruler of Hades basically. So she goes down to see her sister who kills her, and we'll see how the story goes. So I'm gonna start it from the top. This is from Chani on the Venus retrograde. The first rumblings came from the shopkeeper with chipped black fingernail polish and a cute haircut. They were helping me with our holiday party. You know, I don't want to start with this because she starts it and she's talking about kind of herself and her perception of how basically as soon as Venus went retrograde in December is when shit got weird with Omicron and COVID, and everything got worse. Everybody got sick, everybody got hit with COVID, and it was a lot, and I agree it was a lot. But yeah, let's just start from the beginning. Okay, so Venus stationed retrograde on December 19th in a conjunction with Pluto. Deep, dark, and treacherous was the opening to this descent. I woke up most mornings of this Venus retrograde to a chorus of characters within me, all vying for attention, thunderous in their discontent, booming in their loneliness, vigorous in their fear, roaring in their worry. The problem was, most times I thought they were me. These aren't new voices or feelings from within, they are ancient companions. When they come around, these aspects of myself do their best to immerse me in their swill, their unholy mikvah, so that like a fish, I don't know what the water that I swim in. So that by sheer osmosis, I will see, feel, hear no other reality but theirs. Or at least this is what it feels like. I am ashamed to say that more often than not, I fail for the gag. I forget that these parts of myself are just that. They are not the whole of me, and their take on this world is generally from a young, terrified place. They are cunning survivalists, clouds that cover my sky, but also distorted protectors that are just keeping me from harm. This Venus retrograde has been a crash course in reconnecting with them. As a metaphor for these 40 days and 40 nights of Venus' underworld journey, the 4,000-year-old myth of the descent of Inanna, I'm gonna just call her that. I just feel like that's not how you say it. Inanna. We're gonna call her Inanna. Fine. An ancient goddess and a name for Venus is a profound psychological mirror of our own underworld experiences. It's worth a reread. It's worth a reread during these once every 18-month reviews. I've turned to it more than once over the past few weeks, hoping its maps would help orient me. In the myth, the great goddess of heaven and earth hears a call from the underworld. From Diane Wolkstein and Samuel Noah Kramer's translation, in Inanna, that's what it fucking is, Inanna, Queen of heaven and earth, the hymn begins. From the great above, she opened her ear to the great below. From the great above, the goddess opened her ear to the great below. From the great above, Inanna opened her ear to the great below. The cacophony of her fearsome, wrathful, envious, ravenous sister, Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld, calls Inanna. It is Ereshkigal's moaning that the goddess opens her ear to, and she obliges this summoning. Hey, y'all. Before she journeys to the underworld, however, Inanna sets a backup plan in motion. No one is allowed to visit the underworld and return. There is no round-trip ticket here. Knowing this, Inanna tells her trusted helper, Ninshabar, to keep watch for her. If she doesn't return, he must petition the gods to help her come back from the dead, and he must not relent until she's found help. Inanna sets out. On her descent, she has to pass through 7 gates. We can assume they represent the 7 planetary bodies of the ancient world. Each time she must strip an item of clothing so that she eventually arrives before her sister naked. No charms, no amulets, no protections. Ereshkigal wastes no time. She fixes the eye of death upon Inanna and utters against her the cry of guilt. She does what she knows how to do best. She kills her sister. Inanna is turned into a corpse, hung on a meat hook left to rot. But this does not relieve Ereshkigal. She continues to moan in the underworld. She is not helped by her own defenses. She is not saved by her hostility. She too needs to be delivered from it. We could think of Ereshkigal as the other half of the great queen Inanna, the self that has been discarded, the repository for unprocessed shame, the unglorious self, the feral self, the scornful, lonely, unforgiving, and betrayed self, the self that is also the keeper of secrets and so much power. Luckily, above ground, Ninshabar knows to find help. Eventually, Enki, the god of wisdom and Inanna's grandfather, grants it. He sends 2 beings down to rescue her with strict instruction to echo the cries of Ereshkigal, who is moaning with the cries of a woman to give birth. Giving birth to herself, we can assume. The helpers find Ereshkigal was moaning, "Oh, my inside." They moaned, Oh, you're inside." She moaned, Oh, my outside." They moaned, Oh, you're outside." This call and response goes on to include her belly, back, heart, and liver. That her pain is being recognized. Has anyone ever even acknowledged her sorrow? Relieved for being witnessed and thus delivered from her pain, she asks these creatures that are echoing her woes what she can offer them as thanks. She wants to give them a gift for their kindness. They ask for Inanna's body, of course. They sprinkle the food and water of life on her, which Inca gave them before they set off. And Inanna is restored. The goddess is reborn. Actually, both goddesses are. Inanna begins her ascent. We can map this myth onto Venus's own journey before, during, and after retrograde. The planet is a gorgeous evening star as it stations retrograde. As Venus draws nearer to the sun, it disappears from the sky and enters the underworld we imagine, and then it returns to the morning star when it stations direct. As above, so below, we go in tow. By recognizing Ereshkigal's pain, Inanna is released. By recognizing our own Ereshkigal and honoring all it has suffered through, we are too. All parts of self want to be known. The parts of self that have been given the worst jobs need help if they are to have their own rebirth. When we dignify them with an acknowledgement, we return them to their valuable state. As Richard Schwartz, the founder of Internal Family System, says, what I've come to understand through this latest retrograde is that all aspects of myself are restorable if I take a trip to visit them and acknowledge all that they've tried to do to keep me from harm. All parts of myself want to be known. All my monsters really want is to be heroines. However, developing a relationship with my inner Ninshabar and God of wisdom, the self that knows what to do when these other parts have overcome me, is key to not being consumed. Attuning ourselves to our own mysterious, alchemical transformations in order to understand, grapple with, and put to use our power is a must in the land of self-development. It's that or be so enmeshed with these inner selves, these young, fearful child selves, that we're not capable of overcoming our own obstacles, which are usually ourselves. This dirty work of parsing out facts from fiction is how we eventually come to offer our most valuable gifts to the collective. We don't have to suffer for our art, but we can't leave out the parts of ourselves that have. This work is grueling, it's repetitive, it demands rituals. In most cases, it required a pandemic for me, maybe for you too, to do the work at this level. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to put our ear to the ground of our lives and tend to all that awaits us there, meet hooks and moaning ghosts in need of a grief doula, a helper, and a god of wisdom. Venus stationed direct at 3 a.m. this morning. This is a pivotal moment, to be sure, a change of course and a signal of our own rebirth. In fact, it's worth getting up before the sunrise or staying up late to see the Venus as a morning star. For the next few days, the sky jewel is accompanied by a waning moon in the pre-dawn sky. The duo are a delight to witness and an encouraging omen to meditate on as we emerge from this period. As Venus stations direct, we may experience epiphanies about our ways of relating to ourselves and to each other. We may feel called to delve into our favorite artist's body of work or to reflect on the legacies of love and beauty, the love and the beauty that they left behind. In fact, it's as if this Venus retrograde took some of our treasured artists and ambassadors of love and justice with it. Virgil Abloh, he passed in the pre-retrograde shadow. Joan Didion, Desmond Tutu, Bell Hooks, Betty White, Thich Nhat Hanh, Sidney Poitier, and Thierry Mugler, to name a few. Venus will have to retrace its retrograde steps and cross paths with Pluto once more on March 3rd. It's at this time that Venus will officially be clear of its post-retrograde cleanup, meaning that we'll be in new relationship territory come the beginning of March. From now until then, I hope we feel a little lighter amidst these complicated times, or at least a little more able to gather ourselves and to let the wisest parts of our internal brood lead the way. And that is the story. That was so beautiful. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. But I'm going to bed now. Peace.